This is my daughter Holly, and she's going to help us to play some of the songs here. To begin with, you can print this song off my website, which is musiclessons2001.com. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and show you from the sheet, and we're going to play the music. Now, a couple of things that we want to look at. First of all, this right here is called treble clef. It means you play with your right hand. Okay, so anything in this line, group of lines, you play with your right hand. That's a treble clef. This here is a bass clef. It means you play with the left hand. You see right now we don't have anything in the bass clef, so you're not going to be using your left hand right now, just your right hand. We see 2/4. What that means is that there's 2 beats for every measure. A measure is the distance between these lines. Okay, so this is called a quarter note. It's a colored in note with a line on it. It gets 1 count. That's 1 count, and 1 count is 2, so there's 2 counts per measure. This is a half note. You notice that it is a whole, it's open, and it has a stick on it. So that gets 2 counts. So we notice there's just 2 counts per beat, or per measure. So this is 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay? Now, to identify how to read the music, we see that the first 3 notes, that's what we're going to learn first, is the first 3 notes in the right hand. The first note that you learned was a C. You notice here that it shows us that there's the 2 black keys, and we have middle C, which is going to be in the middle of the piano. And we see that little note right there is C, and it has C below it. So this note there is a C, D, and E. Now the first C has its own line through it. You notice that. And in each staff there's 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each line represents a different note. So this first one creates its own note. That's middle C right there that you're looking at. And so it's in the middle of the piano. Holly, please play for us middle C. Okay. And show us, go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This scale. Just play a scale for us. Okay, and then C again.
A.
Okay, go ahead, do it again. Now you notice how she did that wrong?
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, thumb under. Play the C scale.
Oh.
That's how you play a C scale anyway. We'll show you that later. But how do we identify where the C's are? Show us the 2 black keys, Holly. Okay, and the C is before the 2 black keys. Play it. Okay, then show us the one up higher. Where's the 2 black keys? Where's the C? Okay, but the C that we're talking about right now is middle C. It's exactly where it says it is, in the middle of the piano. So play middle C for us. Okay, so that's that first note right there. That's a middle C. And it makes its own line, so it's kind of like the 6th line on the bottom. The D sits at the bottom of the first line. The E sits on the first bottom line. And then it just goes line, space, line, space, line, space. It just goes E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So if you were to look at that, just a quick lesson, it goes, makes its own line, underneath the first bottom line, first line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. But you'll learn all that later, but just so you understand how this works. So that first note there is a C. Now Holly's going to play this song for us. Holly, can you go ahead and play the song? Good. Okay. So there's a little bit of stage fright in there, but that second note does get 2 counts. Okay, so go ahead and play the C for us, the first C. Okay, and she just played it. Go ahead. And you're going to play it with your thumb, right, which is your first finger. Okay, then the next note there underneath the last line on the bottom is a D. Go ahead and play a D. Okay, and then the next note is an E, the first line on the bottom. So go ahead and play the E. Good. Okay, and then go ahead and play the next 3 notes. Now this time it doesn't tell you what they are. Go ahead. Good. Play the next 3 notes. C, D, E, D, C, D, C. Okay, so as I mentioned, you can print this music and more music that gives you practice on these particular notes. Okay, so that you can learn these notes thoroughly. Next lesson, we'll teach the next 3 notes below this, A, B, and C, and we'll progress from there with different songs and so forth. That's good.